is friendly. I go where I am known. I go where I'm not an illusion. Where I go, I've noticed. Everybody goes there. Everybody goes there. I go where everyone is friendly. I go where I am known. I go where I'm not an illusion. Where I go, I've noticed. Everybody goes there. Everybody goes there.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Around Town TV. My name is Carla Berline, Minnesota's lifestyle and business experts. We've been bringing you the best kept secrets, businesses, organizations, and people since 2003. We are the Twin Cities' longest airing television community showcase. And tonight we're taking our show and we're going to be discussing something that's worldwide. I am so thrilled to have with me my two guests that are here with me tonight. The top ranked rep in the world with MPG and top income earner with over 35,000 people on his team. He's been an entrepreneur for 17 years and been around the direct selling industry for 54 years. He has been a pastor for 8 years and is a father, grandfather, and has been married for 32 years. Please welcome Terry Campy.
Hi, thank you so much, Carla. How are you?
I'm good. Good. We had a few, as always in this business, some technical issues, but we got it figured out.
Come on.
We're great to have you here tonight, and I'm excited
Great to be
to
here.
talk about your story and everything here in a little bit. I would like to introduce our next guest, who's a dear friend, and many of you here in Minnesota will recognize him from the media world. Brad Hagfors has been a lifelong businessman and entrepreneur for many years. When he's not working, he likes to travel and fish. He honors God in everything he does and loves to help people. When he was introduced to what he refers to as an amazing product by a friend, Shanna, he thought it was too good to be true. But after several months with MPG and the fix, Brad is down several inches and is feeling extremely healthy. Brad has spent a lot of money and resources looking for help in his midsection, like many of us. And as we get older, where that becomes the problem area. But today he's here to discuss fix and the story of MPG with us as well. Welcome, Brad.
Thank you, Carla. So nice to see you.
Great to see you, literally and figuratively.
Exactly. I'm so honored to be on your show.
Well, thank you. And I will let you talk about what we're going to talk about tonight. How about that? Share a little bit more.
Okay, thank you. Well, tonight, folks, we're going to talk about something that is people don't like to talk about in their life, and that is fat. We all have it. We don't like to talk about it, but we all have it. And you could call it junk in your trunk. You could say, love handles. I mean, whatever you say, we have it, and everybody has it. The deal is that as you get older, it gets harder and harder to get rid of. And one of the things is that it's called a visceral fat, which a lot of us have, which is a really, really dangerous fat. So as you get older, you find that visceral fat really, really does a number on your health. And so when I found this product fix, this really just changed everything. And I am just so blessed to be able to tell this out to the world and what it's all about. And Terry has just a great story about this company. And I'm so glad to see you here, Terry. And thank you very much.
Well, and I'm glad we're going to get into all of that in a second. But first of all, we have a lot of people online. So thank you for tuning in. And many of you know that weight loss and different things for weight loss has been huge. But tonight we're going to talk about fat loss,
Right.
a little different, and a really cool product called pHix. And this is a little packet of that. But also, you see that glass that Brad has? You're going to want to stay tuned to learn more about what you can do with pHix. But first, before we get into the product, Terry has quite a history and background with MPG and pHix. It's a very incredible story. He's been in from the ground floor up with this product. And if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit more of how you got involved in your history and background.
Sure, yeah, and it goes back. MPG started Marketplace Global is the name of the company. It started in August of 2022, so just over 2.5 years old now as a company, which isn't new anymore, but we're not old, But we have done a lot of growing over the last predominantly 9 months because of pHix, what we're talking about. The idea that Marketplace Global had, this will be amazing, was to build a marketplace of products and services that people, we could add in products that would bring value to the people who are part of our community, bring value to their lives. And we did that. We have a whole marketplace of products, but when pHix came along, and literally, I want to be really clear, it was nothing we did. That is not how this went. We literally, in my opinion, God dropped this in our lap. It is one extract that comes out of the hop flower, which used to make beer, those same hops. And we had been building the company, adding products, adding services, building the comp plan, all the different things, building an international footprint, warehousing, logistics, and things like that. But we had good products. We have good products, but there are a lot of good products in the world. When pHix came along, though, it literally changed everything. And because we were prepared for it in terms of the model that we had put together, which is the ability to bring a new product in, because we were ready for that, we could add it in and just keep right on moving. What we didn't see coming, Carla, was what this actually did in the human body and the resulting interest in it. Because you said it, you talked about weight loss. Nobody in the history of mankind has ever wanted to lose weight, even though everybody talks weight loss. Every time anybody ever wanted to lose weight, they really wanted to lose fat. Because, we got that lean body that everybody likes, sexy body, that one. And then we get fat that accumulates on top of that. And that becomes a thing. And that's what people want to get rid of. Now you got 3 kinds of, probably more than that, but 3 major kinds. You got brown adipose tissue, which is good fat. You got white adipose tissue, which is what we refer to as visceral fat. That is bad fat. And then you got subcutaneous fat on top of that, which is the jiggly stuff that we all really dislike. And and then on top of that, our brain is 60% fat. 60%.
Oh, wow.
Our nervous system is 83% fat. So we're all fatheads if you really think about it, because that's what's going on in your brain. But when you have too much visceral fat, and this is the whole point, when you have too much of it, it starts to, this is my technical medical term, it gunks up the operating system. And it leads to other really bad symptoms that people suffer with all over the globe. And we can talk about those because the visceral fat is a killer. It's not good.
Well, and I know Shanna and Monica are joining too, that are part of the team. And Terry has quite a huge team. Shanna is, Brad will explain how he met Shanna and got involved. We're going to get on that. But anytime either one of you, Brett, meaning Brad and Terry, need me to put up any of the graphics, we have the visceral fat graphic, we have the vagus nerve graphic, the side effects, and that video. So you just give me the heads up so we can show the viewers, because we do have a lot of people online. Before we get into that, though, Brad, would you mind sharing a little bit about how you got involved with the company and the product?
Yeah, so you already explained that I spent lots of money trying to help the situation. As I have gotten older, I thought it was what they call a Hagfors belly, and I was really okay with that. The problem is when you really realize that it's actually a visceral fat and it's really bad for you. I was just looking and looking and looking and looking for things. And And Shayna and I were together in a different business many years ago, and she gave me a call, and it was just a blessing from God. I mean, she
Yeah.
literally, she was speaking my language. She was just like, do you need this? Try this out. This is amazing. And this was way back when it just had started.
Mhm.
And it was just, I was just like everything else. I'm like, yeah, well, try it out, whatever, that kind of thing. I can't afford it, but I can't afford not to, that kind of thing. So I really got involved that way from that.
Mhm.
And since then, it's just absolutely been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing. And now I still have the bad habits. And if
Mhm.
I get rid of more of those, I'd even do better.
Absolutely.
Right
That
there, right, Terry?
That's exactly correct.
So I agree. But, old dogs, new tricks type of thing. I'm doing the best I can and loving it. And I want to shout it from the mountaintops. I mean, that's what it really comes down to is this, you just can't get enough people to really realize what this actually can do. And then when I found out what Terry's going to talk about with the vagus nerve and all that, that's just absolutely mind-boggling. So that's really how I did it, through trial and error, through thousands of dollars, the shots. I mean, you name it. I did it. I tried it.
well,
My
and
wife's like, another product. When are you going to stop? When are you going to stop? Why don't you just, go on a diet or whatever?
right. Well, and but Terry, before we get into the visceral fat, because I do want to ask you that, two things that I want to make mention for those, because we do have a lot of people online. So first of all, everybody, as you've noticed, the doctors have a drug for everything: cholesterol, high blood pressure, anxiety, depression. But my thing, and this is why I've been so focused on health and wellness this year, and have had a few shows speaking directly to this, is why not take care of yourself so you don't have to take those things? And some people will say, yeah, but I need some help. And so for those who aren't familiar, and we've been saying, and it's spelled PHIX, Terry, what is fix?
So pHix is ultimately, it's a matured hop bitter acid. We refer to it as a matured hop extract. It is an extract, but it's a combination of bitter acids that are in the hop flower. Hops has been around and used by naturopaths for decades, and typically it's been used for anti-anxiety type of things. This particular extract comes out of the flower. So if you think marijuana, you have CBD and THC. They do completely different things into and for the body. Same thing. This particular extract does something completely different. And the first time it was actually discovered, Carla, is back in 1953.
Oh,
When a
wow.
company extracted this for the very first time. I have no idea why they did that. I don't even know why they knew or thought it was there. I never have heard that. But they did extract it for the first time. The problem was it was $1 million worth of processing cost to produce 1 gallon. So there was no way that they could bring it to the market. I mean, nobody's buying it for $1 million. And but they did some trials on humans, and they saw that it had a potential to reduce visceral fat. And so several other companies over the next 60 years did the same thing. A couple of beer companies. Why? Because they have hops. That's what they do. So they went and looked at it. And so this is what visceral fat is. And you can go on and look at all kinds of different things on visceral fat, and you'll see exactly what it leads to, all kinds of bad things. I mean, here's what I went and looked. That's why I know this list that I'm about to give you.
Thank you.
High blood pressure, high blood sugar, cognitive issues, digestive issues, heart disease, cholesterol, autoimmune, inflammation. These are things, to your point, Carla, there are all kinds of, let's call it quick fixes out there. I'll just leave it at that people try because they've gotten into this condition. The visceral fat is one of the things that leads to the majority of those. So if we can go deal with that, potentially we could deal with all these other symptoms as well. And so that's why these companies kept trying to find a way to extract it at a lower cost, but next to no one could. The best of them was $500,000 for a gallon. But through that, they were able to do more and more trials and saw what this did. And so once a particular pharmaceutical company was able to extract it at a lower cost, we got involved and we became the company that got to bring it to the world.
Wow.
And so in the beginning, all we knew was it would go after the visceral fat. What we did not understand at that point, and what we've come to understand, is the impact on the vagus nerve. And almost no one even knows about the vagus nerve. It's vagus. And the vagus nerve is responsible for 1,100 functions in the human body. 1,100. And some really, really, really big ones, like your digestive system. So there, you hear a lot about gut health in our world, metabolic syndrome. That's the vagus nerve. It controls the heart. Your vagus nerve controls your heart. So if you're talking about, you know, some people with, and I'm not prescribing anything, I'm just saying that because it impacts the heart, blood pressure, blood sugar, irregular heartbeat, all these different things, that vagus nerve, that thing is really important in the operation of the heart and the lungs. These are major organs that the vagus nerve is very much in control of. So when we began to understand that this bitter acid, which is what's in here, right? It's matured hop bitter acid. You have bitter receptors in your tongue, in your esophagus, in your small intestine, and God put those bitter receptors there for our protection. If you guys have ever had food poisoning, you know exactly how those bitter receptors work, because the bitter receptors are looking for something that's bitter, because typically poisons are bitter. So when the bitter acid comes in, it excites those bitter receptors, which then activates the brown adipose tissue, your good fat, that then sends a signal to the vagus nerve that then starts to burn up the white adipose tissue, the visceral fat, and that's how the whole process begins. And so then you move into the sympathetic state, which is fight or flight, because your body's like, oh, we got a problem here, until it realizes that the matured hop bitter acid is not a poison. Then the vagus nerve kicks into the parasympathetic state, which is rest and digest, and all of a sudden your body starts to work optimally, because the vagus nerve has, my word, relaxed, controlling these major organs and processes in the body. So those things start to move into what's called homeostasis, or balance, the way God intended our body to operate. And this is what leads to a healthful life. This is what Brad's talking about when he's talking about, he started it and then realized, just like me, Brad, I'm just like you, bro, because every night I'll have my glass of wine or two, and I have, peanut butter and celery and cheese and crackers every single night. And I still got my subcutaneous fat here, because I like that better than I like reducing my waist by another 2 inches. That's just the reality. It's my life. But the visceral fat, my body percent fat, has gone way down because of what pHix does to the visceral fat. So that's
and I have to interject. Renee Hinson is online and says, this is fantastic. Thank you, Renee. I love hearing from people. And if there's people that are tuning in that are like, we go through this video, if you're interested, Monica said the same thing. Monica Williamson. Thank you, Monica. There's a link above this video that you can reach Brad directly. If you're wanting more information from either Terry or Brad and you don't want to post publicly, it's okay. They will be tagged, as was the promo, to everybody, this whole team, and I can get you to them privately. So just as we're going through this. Sorry. Okay, back to you, Terry.
All good. Yeah. So over the course of the last 9 months, since we rolled this out, we launched pHix on June 15th of last year, 2024. So we're 9 months in.
Wow.
And we have learned a ton, because we've had, overall, we've had about 45,000 people join since then, because of and it was just like Brad. It's exactly what Brad's story is, everybody's story. Yeah. Now, some people see fast results, some people don't, because every body is different. What you guys have done to your body over the course of your life is different than mine. And so I happen to be a very, very, very healthy guy on the inside. I didn't expect a whole lot on the inside. I'm very happy for a reduction in body percent fat and an increase in lean body mass. But when you, again, Brad, I think you and I are probably in the same age range. And there are guys out there, honestly, I mean, when they have blood sugar issues and they're dealing with some of the results of those blood sugar issues, part of that is ED. And we've had a lot of guys that don't need the help anymore because they've started taking pHix, because that's not an issue for them anymore. Who knew? We didn't know that going in, not even close. Ladies, no more. We have a lot of ladies that don't have any more hot flashes that
I
are
was just going to ask.
perimenopausal and menopausal. Yeah, because it helps the hormones. Because that vagus nerve is so important in this operation. So it is. It is. I mean, I won't say a
Do
miracle,
we
but
have that video of the doctors of the?
yeah, that would be
We
great.
should
Let's
show
play
that.
video real quick. Yeah, don't believe me. Believe the doctors.
Yep. So we're going to show that video, and we come back, Brad. I want you to show your glass of wine, and we'll talk about that. Before we go to the video, Monica said she lost 20 pounds and 6 inches in her waist. That's nothing to sneeze at.
That's
and
amazing.
Renee said,
way to go,
yes,
Monica.
yep. And her husband and she have had amazing results. Her husband specifically. So her hubby A1C there from 9.9 to 6.8. And for those who aren't familiar with diabetes, my dad was a type 2 diabetic, and that's huge. You want to be under 7. And if you're under 7, that's great. And if you're not, the number she posted originally is very serious. So that is huge. So what I'm going to do right now is bring the video in, and then we'll come back. And Brett, I want you to talk about the glass of wine. So here we go.
Yeah, about 2 minutes.
Leads to a healthier, longer life. So when we measure around our waist, we're really measuring this gelatin fat. You see how closely packed together the organs are here? You need that amount of fat. That's healthy. But over here, this is unfortunately what a lot of us are dealing with.
Okay, I'm going to try that again.
Fat surrounding your organs.
Not playing, is it?
Your organs are separated by basically this toxic goop. I call it an alien invader. And I want to talk to everyone a little bit about what's happening inside your abdomen and why having a lean belly is such a key to good health. So you're walking around with too much abdominal fat. This fat you're looking at is visceral fat. It doesn't just sit there. It truly is toxic goop encircling all of your organs. It's increasing inflammation. It actually secretes chemicals that increase inflammation throughout your body. But it also affects your cardiovascular system. It increases over time your blood pressure, amongst other things. And as all these parameters are changing, your abdomen, that visceral belly fat, is doing other things. It's increasing production of something called interleukin-6. This chemical further increases inflammation throughout your body. And as this happens, something else really interesting is occurring. Your metabolism is being governed by this excess body fat. Adiponectin is affected. And what does it do when you don't have enough of it? It tells you to store more belly fat. So it's a vicious cycle to poor health. Your liver is overwhelmed with cholesterol. Well, what does that lead to? Plaque buildup in your arteries. And when you get plaque buildup, what happens next? Oftentimes, I see you in the ER, fatal heart attack, and everyone always says, what could I have done differently? Well, the answer is right here now, you've got to target excess belly fat. Belly fat leads to heart disease, cancer, stroke, arthritis, type 2 diabetes, even sexual dysfunction. And I don't want everyone to have to deal with that. Well, what happens if you actually get rid of belly fat and develop a leaner belly? You know what? Studies show you'll actually be smarter. You'll sleep better. Sounds good to me. You'll have a healthier heart. Better sex. They look pretty happy, don't they? Even more money. Less money spent on medical bills, more money to travel the world. Sounds pretty good.
Oh, was it done? Okay. I'm not sure why it wasn't playing, because we're hardwired in here, so that it's not about the internet.
That's live, right? That's live.
That's live TV, but I'm glad you all could hear that. I'm going to read a couple more comments that support that. Shanna first said to you, Brad, she's so blessed to be on the journey with you, and it's such a blessing. Shanna also wrote that her sleep and energy is through the roof, and her lean body mass and muscle tone is crazy, and she has not changed a thing. And I'm reading more. Oh, yep. And increased libido is a real benefit. So since you have the glass, he's not just drinking a glass of wine. Well, he is, but explain, Brad, what you can do with pHix.
Yeah. So what sets us apart from everybody else is the fact of how easy it is to have pHix. First of all, it lasts approximately 9 hours. So it's not something that you take in the morning and you can take it later on. But if you take it too late, it might keep you up all night. Who knows? Because it just really does a lot to your body. But what sets us apart differently is how easy this is. And because it's the hops, it actually does better in alcohol, which you really don't hear much. I mean, you can put it in coffee, have coffee here, and you literally just snap it. So you snap it and you put it in your drink. That simple. That's all it is.
And what does it do?
So it's tasteless. You don't taste anything. You don't smell anything. It doesn't taste anything different. It's just like wine. It's the same identical thing, but it literally goes in your body and literally goes through your body and helps with all the different things that it needs to accomplish. And I'm not a doctor, but I know that I've been told, and Terry can back me up on this, about 9 hours. Correct, Terry? About 9 hours? 9 hours?
It goes back to that process about the bitter receptors getting activated, and what that's going to do is then start to help the body operate and rest and digest for about 9 hours while still burning visceral fat. So it's quite healthful. And you see this this list of potential side effects. This is where nobody's making a claim. We're not saying anybody's going to have this, but what we know is after 45,000 people have joined, we have a lot of people who have anecdotal evidence that they are getting things like this, better sleep, better digestion. Those are the two biggies right there. Those two, increased blood flow. You guys can see all of that. Some of these others are, some people have them, but not everybody. I just want to be really, really, really clear on that.
Yes.
The improved prostate.
Potential. Yes.
The potential side effects, the improved prostate. Okay. So a lot of guys, and I don't know how many males watch this, but particularly guys that are older, as we get older, a lot of times we get up more and more often to get to the restroom. It's inflammation of that prostate. And this starts to help reduce the inflammation. So guys are sleeping through the night. Instead of waking up 3, 4, 5 times a night, it's once, maybe twice throughout the night. So they're actually sleeping better. We have numerous people talk about the dreams that they have because they're actually in a state, sleeping well enough that they're dreaming and dreaming vividly. So it's there's just so much to this. And again, everybody is different because everybody is different. And our just like Brad, he tried it because a friend suggested it. It was a thing for him. It's a thing for a lot of people, right? We have an overweight and an underhealthy global population.
Yes.
I won't get into all the reasons for that. We'll save that for another time. But you can go look around and everybody knows that's the case. And too many people, we're taking in, we got the carbohydrates, got simple and complex carbohydrates. Too many of us taking too many simple carbohydrates. Why? Because they're cheap and they taste good. And that is just the reality. So people take in a lot. Those things get stored as fat, gang. And those, I can go on for a long time. I'll try not to, but we have millions of visceral fat cells, millions. And those things can expand up to 100,000 times their original size. And it just keeps storing more and more fat because as you take in more energy, calories than you need, your body's going to use up some of that energy right away. It's going to eliminate some of it, excrete it. But that it doesn't do that with, it's going to store it for later. And where it stores it is in the visceral fat and then the subcutaneous fat. It's just stored up energy. That's what it ultimately is. So what happens, to the point you were asking, Brad, when the bitter acids go in, all of a sudden it starts to work on that visceral fat. That's a release of energy. So some people get a real pop of energy because that's happening. Now, the other thing people need to be aware of, in that visceral fat is stored up toxins. The doctor called it toxic goop. That was his word for it. That's what's going on. You got toxins and fungus that are stored up in there. The other thing that's stored up in there are what are called killer T cells. The killer T cells are in your body to prevent cancer from starting. Well, if you have too much fat, the killer T cells get locked up in there and they don't go do the job that they're supposed to be doing. This is why he said, I'm not saying it. He said too much belly fat leads to cancer. That was one of the things he said. I'm not saying
doctor. That. Yeah, we are not doctors. We are not. Yeah.
Because you're locking up these killer T cells in the fat that we have stored up, and they're not released to go do their job. So it's just been an amazing experience to listen to people and see how their lives have changed. Just like the A1C that you just read. I got dozens of those. I mean, we got thousands and thousands of testimonies of people whose lives have been changed in various ways. Not all the same, but in various ways. So it's been just awesome to participate.
And there's a lot of people that are commenting on some of their success as well. And we still have a lot of people online. And I know we touched on this, but yes, we all know America's extremely unhealthy. That's no secret. I talked about this when this whole group met, and this was me saying this, that we know that over 70% of our youth will not qualify to serve if they would want to in our armed services. And that is not only because of obesity, it's because of anxiety and depression and lots of things. And and we know that weight loss is a huge thing, but what really enjoyed learning about this product is this is about fat loss. And would you say that's what sets you apart from some of those shots and other things we hear out there?
100%.
Okay.
When people are losing weight, particularly taking some of the measures that they take, not all, but some, the weight includes fat, but it also includes muscle, bone, water, organ tissue. So this is going specifically after fat, visceral fat. So it makes the health piece of it is something that has never existed before. I mean, a lot of people think about fat burners and things like that. Those are stimulants. This is not a stimulant. This is an activator. It activates the body's God-given response system to a bitter acid entering it. And so it activates it's a protection mechanism is what it really is doing. And it activates that system unlike anything else. So I'll just say the things that shots come from, it doesn't do that. It doesn't do that.
Yeah.
And so it's just it's different than anything else on the market. And as it turns out, Carla, we are the only ones that have it.
Right. Well, and that plays to the next question. You've built, so many people need this product, but you've built quite a company and quite a following, over 35,000 people on your team. Let's talk to that. And I also want to talk to you a little bit about that, Brad, as well as share a little bit about your company and what you've done.
Yeah, we again started as a marketplace, and we just really want to provide products that help improve the quality of people's lives. And we have, numerous of them, and we have more that we're about to roll out that are just amazing as well. So we're really excited about all of those things. But at the end of the day, the thing I like best about what we have is it's real. The products we have are real products. They do real things in real humans, and people can try it for themselves, just like Brad. I'm going to try it and get to see and feel what's happening in their own bodies. And just like everything in the world, gang, okay, not everything works for every person on the planet. Okay, it doesn't do that. But there's a very, very large majority, I will just say, Carla, that have found great results, which is why, just like Brad said, shouting it from the rooftop. Why? Because when people have a better health response, they tell people about it. We've talked more about poop in the last 6 months than ever in our lives. But here's the thing. We didn't know that so many people had issues with their digestive system. Holy cow. If your gut health is bad, man, it leads to all kinds of other things. So when people start getting relief, and we're talking about, the liver, the kidney, the pancreas, spleen. I mean, you got these things, and if they're not operating correctly, it leads to bad things. And so anyway, so with all of this, people are sharing the story with friends who then, because our world is overweight and underhealthy, when they hear all natural, no side effects, and one extract that goes after visceral fat, a lot of people are open to trying it. And when they try it, when they get a result, they tell lots of friends. And that is exactly what's been happening.
Well, clearly with 35,000 people and you're the top performer, this is spread, you got in at the ground floor. It's 9 months old. That is the type of product you want to be involved with, everybody, because you are still considered part of the beginning, the inception. And and Brad, talk about to that point, you got involved because you wanted to try the product. Now you're on the team so that you can get it cheaper. Maybe play to that a little bit
So,
for those.
so that's what it is. It's like, you could pay X amount of dollars for it, $100 or something for it, or if you become on the team there, you can get it cheaper. Well, why wouldn't I get it cheaper?
Right.
That kind of thing. But once you're on it, and then once you want to talk to more people, then more people want to know about it. So you just tell people about it, and you can make some money on the same time. So it could be a side hustle, it could be more than a side hustle, it could be a full-time job. This thing is just going absolutely nuts. But it starts with that we have such a fantastic product. I mean, I hate to call it product, don't you? Hate to call it a product, but I would, but that's what it is. And that we just want to tell everybody, and people want to do the same thing. That's why, I have my have it up on the screen there, how people can get involved. They can buy something, they can try it out, they can be part of our team, whatever they want. That we're all about just trying to get it to so many people. And seriously, in 9 months and having a worldwide product all around is just phenomenal. And the exciting part is how many times would a product like this be right here in Minnesota?
Right, in Maple Grove.
Their headquarters is in Minnesota, right there. It's like, how many times is that? We are so blessed to be able to walk over, and Terry can't even walk over to the corporate office and watch them make it.
Right.
I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. And that's what I really wanted you to know, Carla, when we had talked about this, and about a business that is here in town and is doing really well around the world. But
should we tell everybody where we met to talk about it? At the Malt Shop Burger Shop.
So, but we just want more people to just be involved, just like everybody else. Doesn't have to be in, other countries and stuff. It can be right here in Minnesota. And we have the best support, the best videos, and the best help that anybody could ever have. But if the product doesn't do it, we wouldn't have a company. So, it's all about the product, and we still say it's a God's product. It really is. It's a God's product. All of it, we feel it was just dropped on our lap from there. So that's what just makes us so different than everybody else.
Terry, what else haven't we covered that you want everyone to know?
Yeah, well, I think it's important to understand that we do actually manufacture it there in Maple Grove, Minnesota. We are the manufacturer of this. So start to finish, and
no middleman.
Right. So we're not white labeling somebody else's product. That is not how this is happening. We actually do the manufacturing. And so that's a big thing, and everything we do is all sourced. Well, the hops are sourced outside the U.S., but all of the things we do are all done inside the U.S. All the other products we do predominantly are within the U.S. as well. So that's just a fun fact for your next party. But I do want to just touch on, we have unfortunately, it's a post-COVID society. Now that might just seem self-evident, but what I mean by that, Carla, is people are still trying to get out of some of the setbacks that we had going through that. A lot of people took a big financial hit. Businesses were lost. People, their livelihoods all changed and things. For sure, we did. We were in a travel space, and wow, if there was a company you didn't want to be in, it was travel.
I know all about that.
Yeah. So we spent 4 years trying to figure out what on earth are we going to do now, and it was not where I expected to be in my life at that time. Now here's the thing. The real part of it is I talk to people all the time who are still struggling. They're still building back. And to Brad's point, you can create an income here. And I tend to downplay this part, but for right now, for those of you who might be on here listening, if that's you, if you're somebody out there who would like to create what I'm going to call a risk-free income. And what I mean by that is you don't have to leave a job. You don't have to go do all this stuff. It's $30 to be a rep. Well, I like the term connector. And $30, you can be in business, really, truly, in a business, a real legal business, and then you can go create income. And because of the way we build our teams, Carla, it's something we do together. It's not an individual thing. It's a group. It's a group effort. And because we do it that way, and because we understand, and Brad mentioned the tools that we have, it's very, very, very easy to share with people. Very easy. We have all the training. Everything's done basically in videos, and it's all done for you. And so you really get the turnkey kind of a business for $30.
Right.
And then people can go create an income and or the tax benefit that come along with, running a real business. And then you can go create income. And some people, it's a little bit of income. Some people, it's a lot of bit of income. And I mean, it can be life-changing income, but it does take time, does take effort. But we've got all the tools in place that we've leveled the playing field, that anybody who would like to participate, who would like to change their circumstances, who maybe, and this is what I see a lot of, people making very, very high incomes are now not making what they were making pre-pandemic, and they want to get back to it. So it runs the gamut of people who might be looking for something more. And we have a lot of people that are winning at various levels, but my goodness, it'd be worth checking out if you guys are open to that.
Well, and Monica just said it, it's a no objection product.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That is
I want to
huge.
keep my fat. I like my fat. I'm going to keep it.
Said no one ever.
Right.
Yes.
I've been working on this for 30 years. I'm going to keep it.
Right. Oh gosh. Yeah. So my dad used to say it was bought and paid for. Well,
That's
now
right.
It's,
That's
now
right.
it's an earn.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah. But Brad, what about you? Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you really wanted to get across on the show?
I was just wondering if anybody had questions or something. I mean, Terry is here and he started from the beginning. If there's any questions out there or somebody, now we can't, we're not doctors and everybody's different, but there's all different kinds of things that it has helped. And I don't know if anybody has any questions out there that maybe Terry could answer or myself, but just wondering if that would be a possibility.
And I've been watching comments and mostly just sharing success. But there are a lot of people online. So I have a feeling, and this is typical with any fat loss, weight loss, whatever. When it's something personal, they don't always want to ask publicly. They want it privately, which is why I have Brad's information, his mobile phone, his email, his link to him. But also when this is over, I'll go back in and tag everybody on the team and people that are involved, people that are taking it, so that if you have questions, you can reach them directly. And if you need to, or you would feel better about reaching out to me privately, I am happy to connect you separately offline so that you can get to them directly, whether it's more information about the product, or you're interested maybe in a little side hustle, or maybe a full-time hustle. It definitely, you would get in on a early level in this business.
Yep. And I mean, like Terry said, it's like a lot of people got hurt during the pandemic, and this has really helped lots of families, not only health-wise, but you start feeling better, and you kind of you might want to even change your life. I mean, and this is life-changing. It could be life-changing.
I just got two questions.
Okay.
One was, what about inflammation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this goes after inflammation again, vagus nerve, heart. So this is going to go after inflammation. So it helps a lot of people that might have arthritis, things like that, joint pain. A lot of people get a lot of relief from that because of the reduction in inflammation. Along with the reduction in inflammation comes increased circulation. Increased circulation means you're getting more blood flow to the muscles, you're getting more oxygen, you're getting mitochondria. All those things are very, very good for the human body, but it starts with the reducing the inflammation, and disease loves that inflammation. So this is something that we did not see it coming, Carla. We just didn't. But over
blessing.
time, we've seen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people and who've stated these things. And so again, not making a claim that it would happen for you, but I'm telling you that the because of what the product does biologically, physiologically, it's a real thing, and it's a real response in the body that can help that immensely.
I mean, I myself, mind clarity has been totally different, is unbelievably different, So
That's
there's
good.
so many things that come, it's really hard to say. So you never know. What was the other question?
The other question was, what has been the average weight loss for women's timeline?
Yeah. So again, everybody's different and every body is different. So there isn't, I don't know that there would be an average, but I would say that some people see a result right away. It just depends on, if you're an overachiever in the fat accumulation area, you're probably going to lose more faster.
Right.
Is that a politically correct way to say that?
Well, it's just like with anything. Correct. Yep. And I have friends who have been on the shots and not lost anything. I have friends who've been on the shots and lost 60, 70, 80, hundreds of pounds. So I have seen that with anything out there, any of the other options, you have to put in the effort.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing I do want to share, I mean, this is going to sound crazy. I know what I'm about to say is going to sound crazy. What we've been able to surmise over the 44,000 people and the hundreds of people. I mean, we have doctors that are literally researching. They have research clinics. They're evaluating, urine, stool, blood work. I mean, they're doing these tests over hundreds and hundreds of people over now 7 months. And so we can see this. We now know what's happening. But it's very interesting that the body knows what's wrong with it. This is really important, gang. Your body knows what's wrong with it. The challenge is we tend not to give it what it needs to go fix what's wrong. What this does ultimately, and I was talking to one of the top doctors in Australia, and she said that this is God's health hack. And what she meant by that is it starts the body's journey toward health. And when people feel that, see that in their own life, they're inspired to do more to get healthier, but it starts the body that way. But what it's going to do when it goes in, it's going to go after the most urgent issue in a person's body. And that might, yes. And so this is why some people have a response on the A1C, like your person did mention there. Some people have an issue or they see an impact in blood pressure. So I would love to get into some things. I just don't want to get into claims because it's so much. But then we just had a gal, literally 75-year-old. She's a friend of ours. She's been on it for 8 months now, and she didn't have any loss at all from a weight or an inches standpoint. She was sleeping better, things like that. But then in the last 45 days, she's dropped 25 inches.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, but that took months. But in her body, there were other things that needed to be dealt with. So everybody's different, and that's probably not the answer to the question.
Well, and I
can explain one thing when you're talking about with our company, because everybody looks at how much weight you lose. So our company has an amazing app that will measure the inches when you start and also measure the inches as you go. And so I can say that people lose a lot of inches, and that's pretty much right away. It takes a little bit longer on the weight just because you gain muscle, which gains weight and stuff like that. But our app that we have literally takes you step by step by step, and you can see where in your whole body, from top to bottom, what you're losing on your arms and your legs and your thighs and everything. Literally shows you how much you're losing, and it's absolutely amazing. And that's what's different.
Brad, Renee, who takes the product, said she lost 5.5 inches in her first 2 weeks and about 3 pounds. Don't pay attention to the scale. We did get another question. Any bad side effects?
Yeah, there are no clinical side effects. No clinical. Now, some people will feel bloating or water retention. Again, when you're burning up visceral fat, it's releasing those toxins and fungus that I talked about. Your body knows that. So if you're releasing too much, your body could potentially retain water to dilute those out so that you don't get sick. Wow. Some people have a detox response as well. we've had people, and we've had some people that have had a lot of health issues over the course of their life, and so they do a lot of detox, so they know how that feels.
Right.
So some people might feel flu symptoms, for a day or two. It's a response. It's a detox is what's happening, and so it's really important to be aware of that. And this is one of the great things of being, we have a lot of different, I guess I'll just call messaging groups, and you can get a lot of information, a lot of people sharing their testimonies and understand what's going on there. And one thing I just want to be sure that everybody's aware. Brad mentioned the app. It's not our app. It's available. You can go right now and download it on your app store. It's called Me 360, but it's not ours. It's free.
Oh, okay.
So it's nothing that we
selling or
right,
yeah.
Exactly. We're not selling that. There's
What's
other
the app
scales.
called?
Me 360. Spell it out.
Me 360. Okay.
And there are smart scales out there. Some people are using the smart scales, and but they're watching because what the challenge is, you can't see visceral fat going away. You can see measurements. You can feel your clothes. Your clothes start fitting different. Like you're going, hey, what's happening here?
Yeah, it's not as tight, snug.
My shorts fell off. I was walking through the bedroom. I was on about 3 months, and I'm walking into the bedroom, and my shorts I've had for years fell off of me while I was walking. I'm like, what the heck? And
feels
so
good.
Yeah. So those things happen, and but the scale that he's talking about and the app, it shows what's going on inside, which is it's really amazing.
That's really cool.
Yes.
What else haven't we covered?
Well, I think you've done a lot. I'm hoping that a lot of people have learned a lot. And like I started out when I said, nobody likes to talk about fat, but this is more than fat. It's just fat is that word that everybody is. I mean, it's $1 billion business, because of it, but it isn't only fat. There's a lot of other things, and we're finding more and more and more and more all the time. So I'm hoping that they can go to our website, they can get more information, they can get involved, they can try the product, whatever. We're hoping, and all we wanted to do, we just wanted to shout this out to everybody that we know. And because it's so cool, it's a business here in town, and with your wonderful show, talking about all the businesses, I just thought it was just an absolute opportunity to be able to explain it to people. And I know there was people that are watching this that aren't from the state, and I'm fully aware of that, and that's fine. But we just want to get it out there, and we have absolutely nothing to hide. There's nothing to hide. Everything's out there.
Well, and I just got an email, and I've noticed this too when I was in the Facebook group. There are a lot of testimonials of autoimmune disease, of it helping too. And again, this isn't a claim. We're not making any claims, but I've been reading, different things that people have experienced, which is why when I got the graphic that said side effects, I'm like, oh, no, it was the potential good side effects, potential. And again, different people, different results. But Terry, anything else before we close out that?
I think I would just say to people, all you got to lose is fat, and give it a shot. One of the things that's really cool about the packaging and the way we dispense it, Brad put it in is that a Cabernet you got there, brother?
Yeah,
that's right. I put it in my Cabernet Sauvignon at night as well. And you can put it in anything. You can put it in any beverage. It doesn't matter what you put it in. It's really simple. And because it's simple, guys, people do it. That's the thing. It's what he just did. Everybody can do it. And the other thing is, if you're out with friends and you do that and put that in, I guarantee you people are going to say, hey, what is that? Because they've never seen it before. And then I just say, I'm just snapping off my fat, or however you want to do it. But people start, that conversation comes around. And so it's an easy topic to discuss with people in terms of health, because to your point, Carla, here in the US, I mean, 80% of our 78% of our population is either overweight, obese, or clinically obese. That is not good. That is not good. And, globally, it's probably a bit less than that because of various diets, but people, it's either overweight and unhealthy. So we've got like 45,000 people. We haven't even started talking about this yet to the globe. And,
and I am picky. I'm picky when it comes to taste.
Oh,
I have had, I can't tell you how many different products, and it looks good, and then you drink it and it's like, oh, can I stomach it?
yeah, I'm not doing
I'm
that. Yeah.
not doing that. The fact that you can't even taste, smell, or anything is absolutely amazing.
I
For
love
those
that.
people out there that are like me and don't like weird tastes like that, it's like drinking wine, regular
Mhm.
wine. You'd never know the difference. And it even works better on those because it has the hops product, which is also really kind of cool. But people put in their coffee and whatever. So
Well,
it's just so easy.
one of the things I think of is hops beer. I'm not a
Yep.
beer drinker, but
Me
I
either.
like the light hops beer. So I
Yeah.
thought, I bet I,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I would have a beer can here if I drank beer, but I don't drink beer. So,
yeah. Oh,
but
well,
anyway, yeah, we just can't explain it enough. And it's just thank you so much, Carla, for
oh, you're
what you've done
welcome.
and getting this out to people. And we just hope we just want to bless everybody we can out there. True, Terry, it's just what we want to do.
Sure, that is the mission. Get this to the world as fast as we can, with as much integrity and character as we can. So,
Absolutely. Well, and I like that you're both very strong Christians and faith-based, and a pastor of 8 years. And everybody who knows Brad knows he's also the background, and I'm strong in my faith. That just
Yeah.
means the world to me as well. And it's been an honor to have you both on the show. And thank you, Monica. Thank you, everyone who's been online tonight. We've had a strong following across all platforms tonight. And so that tells me a lot of you are interested. So I'll go back on and do all my tagging and linking so you can get to them. Feel free to private message me as well, and I'll get you to Brad and Terry and the team if you should need that. And I think, before I close, if there's any last comments, go ahead. Otherwise, we'll just close it out.
Like Terry says, all you have to lose is your fat.
Love it.
and I just want to say thank you so much for having me on, Carla and Brad and everybody out there. It's been a great experience being with you, and look forward to connecting with whoever out there wants to connect.
Perfect. Well, and those who have been following Around Town TV, both the broadcast version and live version, knows we are the longest airing television community showcase, and we've been featuring the best kept secrets, businesses, organizations, and people. Thank you.
Yeah.
Since 2003. And I
Yeah,
thank
it's
you all
amazing.
for tuning in tonight and supporting the businesses we feature. I thank you to Renee, Monica, and Shanna, and I think there was two. Yeah, there's two Renees that have been on tonight. Thank you for all your comments and sharing your success. Those that are interested, asking questions, I really appreciate that. And we go live every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So please tune in, look for our promos, and I'll look forward to seeing you back here next Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Central. I guess it's Central Daylight Time right now, right here on Around Town TV. We'll see you then. Thank you.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. God bless.